Too close. This one's for my lover, my all-time lover. Darren doesn't know about him. So love, let me take you down. Strange love, into the meadow where our dreams are waking. I love to look in your eyes, where I see a million chances that we could be taking. I see love, all the chances that we could be taking, more than two and undertow in the sea foam. So love, let me take you down to the water's edge where the wind is wild and we forget our names. I know who you are, and if I passed you 1,000 times, I still know who you are. I see love, all our colors flashing like Mercury crashing on a window pane to return again. So don't let me lose him, so not run too fast. Show me exactly what the truth is. He's the best thing that I ever had. He's the best thing that I ever had. So love, let me take you down. Strange love, into the fire when my heart is burning. I love to be in your arms. I feel a million chances that we could be taking. I see love, all the fireflies flashing in a field of passion, and then winter came, and away they went. So don't let me lose him, so not run too fast. Show me exactly what the truth is. He's the best thing that I ever had. So don't let him lose me, so not run too fast. Show him exactly what the truth is. I'm the best thing that he ever had. I'm the best thing that he ever had. Pulled into an undertow in the sea foam. Pulled into an undertow in the sea foam. Love is in the air. Joel usually got me this chair a long time ago. I think I needed to sit down. So
that's how we started. The magic happened on its own, and then we started to perform out. Someone found a tape. That's how we ended up doing our first record deal, because Darren never wants, he's always waiting to play things for people till they're perfect. And I guess this was God's way of showing us that it's time to get our asses out of the shed and into the world. And one thing led to another, and or I say one thing led to my brother. And then we did 3 records, one that was finally released on RCA. The first thing I remember, I don't remember what got me excited about music, except for I do remember when I was about 6 years old, we had a piano in our living room. And I think I was just drawn to it because that was a place that I could get away from everybody else, because there were 9 kids in the family. And so I saw this little place in the corner that I could go to, and I would just tinker on it. And then I just started just la 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 la, you know, sing these little songs to myself. And next thing I know, I kept going back to it, and I just started making up these little songs when I was 6, 7 years old. And then I kept doing it. I don't remember any of those songs when I was 7, but I remember a song when I was 10. I wrote with my next door neighbor, Brendan McCalzick. It went around, and so I would sing, la da dee boom boom, la da dee boom boom, pushing all the people around the town, la da dee boom boom. She's singing la dee boom boom while I sing that, pushing all the people up and down, la da dee boom boom. That was at 10. That was the extent of the song, and I was pushing all the people around the town. Those were some esoteric lyrics. Oh, we're going through a tunnel now.
The amount of time that you spend with someone can either draw you closer to that thing or steer you further away from it. And if it steers you further away, then you're not going to be working with that person at all. For us, it brought us closer. I notice when people do films together, you know, Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, or whatever, it's just inevitable that working schedules or whatever, and if there's an attraction there, you just sort of grow together, I guess, over some months. And that's kind of exactly what happened with the two of us. We were writing probably, you know, 2 or 3 days a week, and at my house, at her house, at Steven's place, or wherever. And just as it went, you know, I asked her out. I asked her to go, you know, first to go get something to eat. After that, I asked her to go see a concert, and that's a concert that we always talk about now, down in Redondo Beach, because that's like the first night that we kissed each other. You know, it was bound to happen. Right. How did I end up playing with Miles? That story to this day, you know, it's still surprising, and it still feels like it sort of just happened. It happened so fast. I think the thing was his nephew at the time, who or is a drummer still. He would go out in the clubs, because Miles wouldn't really go out in the clubs. He would go out into clubs and hear some of the newer people who were playing, and then he says, hold on a minute. And then Miles got on the phone and said, you know, in his voice, you know, he's like, I heard you can play, you know. And he's like, yeah, I want to hear a tape. And then Miles called me back a few days after that, and he said, you know, I want you to come out to the house, you know. And so Vince and I went out to the house in Malibu, and that's, you know, he opens the door, and I was, you know, just kind of blown away that it was him, you know, because obviously as a musician, that's all of his band is that's how you learn, you know, just you got to go through learning his music. The first gig with Miles was, that was, I'll never forget that. It was an amazing experience for a couple reasons. It was in Milan. It was in Italy, and March 11, 1991. first show was just, it wasn't really nerve-wracking for me because I felt comfortable with the music. I think that's what it is. He wasn't, I wasn't playing any something that I didn't understand. I really understood what the music was about, so I wasn't really that nervous. Him as a person, I think, was definitely, he knew he was getting sick towards the end of his life, and that's when I caught him that last year. I played with him, but he knew he was getting sick. He was very familial at that point. Like he would, if you were inside the circle, he would just include you in and just be kind of like a father figure. And that's what the thing. I mean, for me, growing up without a father, basically, just hanging with him on multiple plane rides and hanging with him in his hotel room and talking to him about music and different things, I think that really, in a short period of time, got me to the point, like, not only is this guy, the icon of jazz in the 20th century, but just who he is as a person just really blew me away. So by September, when he passed away, I was definitely shaken, for a little bit, to be in that whirlwind for a minute, So I played a lot with Stanley Clarke, and I played a lot with David Sanborn, and I played a lot with just a host of great musicians,
Like anyone would be. You are. I couldn't help it. It's on your clothes.
And at the same time dealing with Monica, because I met her in 1991, so we were writing music at that time as well, and then trying to be a couple and writing music and all that stuff. So for me, after Miles died, it was I think I'm just now, to be quite honest with you, I think I'm just now getting to the place that I could accept that I played with him and I can try to move on and make some music for myself.
Our spirits cannot be broken. Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirits cannot be broken. Our spirits cannot be broken. Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirits cannot be broken.
first music I remember learning were a couple of James Brown songs, the easy ones, and Temptations bass lines, real easy bass lines. When do I remember performing first? I say as far as being a musician, it was when I did my first recital, and that was at 16 or 17. So not only could I not play the instrument as well, it was the fact that I was that age and I'm playing alongside of people who were 7 and 6 and whatever, and so we're playing all these same pieces, but I'm much older, and so that was the first memories of that were, I don't know, a bit frustrating actually.
I grew up in Watertown, New York, and Watertown had a population of about 30,000 people, and we lived just outside the city limits, so I had a lot of time to adventure and be outdoors. That's where I sang a lot of songs. I would walk on the railroad tracks behind our house and the golf course and just sing songs. Thought you gonna call me last night, but I wasn't in the mood for a fight. Who was that lady dressed in yellow? And don't you tell me another fellow, because I love you, and I mean it true. That was 12. Then the next songs, I started to play chords. I learned triads. I figured them out. Nobody showed me. I just started to hear things that made sense, and I never took piano lessons, and I still regret it to this day. And Darren has taught me a lot how to play by ear and figure things out. I can't read music yet, but I can read chords, like say guitar chords, and then play them on the piano. But we weren't able to afford it, So, but the great thing about that is that I found my own voice. I had to learn how to write songs in order to play music. So I had to create my own songs, so that way I wasn't trying to cop somebody else's style as far as vocally or any kind of cadence or something with my lyrics, anything like that. So it was good in that sense.
I have to make one.
Darren had just gotten off the road with Paula Abdul, and he was about to go on the road with Miles Davis, I think. And we met, and instantly it clicked. And I sang a couple songs to him a cappella. We still have the audio tape of that meeting, our first meeting. He sounds like a pimp, and I sound like a freaky chick. Yeah, let me sing you this song. Okay, it goes like this. And so I sang this song to him, and anyway, a cappella, then he called me a couple days later and had come up with this music for it, and that was the beginning. The first song we worked on together was the one, it was something about the world, dancing around the world, being happy, people, everyone around the world being happy and loving each other. I can't remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it.
It's called Freedom Dancing. I see the light in your eyes. The love that's inside you. And you got a heart just like mine. Aware of all that's inside you. Oh, one day you'll see that you can be free. And then freedom movement, freedom of sound will be freedom dancing, oh, freedom all around. Freedom Dancing was the first song.
I have a TV set in every room, pictures of Madagascar. I have collections of Picasso and more. You could walk through my temple. I got blues all around me. Can you feel them? But I wish I had someone to call my own. Someone to call my own. I have the latest in fashion. See my coat come down to my knees, but I pray for some resistance. I got a Billy Goat. Did you ever see one? I'll show you one right here, right here, right now. If you would believe, I will hold you so tight. Just stay the night. Just stay with me. I just want someone to call my own. Yeah. Someone to call my own. In this great big empty house, it's just haunted with these dreams, because no one is books, philosophy, and religion. I have studied so many, but of all the things I know, I'm not living, no, no, I'm not living at all. Not living at all. Not living at all. Not living at all. I just want somebody. I just want somebody. I just want somebody. Hey, hey, someone to call my own.
we ended up playing together because I mentioned to my friend Stephen Ray I was looking for someone to collaborate with, and someone that would be my voice on the instrument because I was limited on the piano. And when we started to play together, naturally, Darren and I just started to write songs. We were very comfortable together, and he had a style that was different from mine. His was more of a funk and jazz background, and mine was more like sort of a folk and rock background, the good old rock. And we just found that we wrote naturally. It took a while for us to see what we needed to lose of our other styles that didn't work when we were trying to integrate a sound. And we just felt there was magic. There was something special about it. There's almost a haunting quality that he has when he plays, and I know that there's a tone in my voice too that lends itself to the same place and time in life, and we would get taken away by our own music.
The studio. Let me close this door. Tell you about it. Well, the gear's not here right now. I took it all out, but this is the desk that was the foundation for a lot of music. This is all my little knob turning things. My piano that I've had for about 12 years, since '96, which has taught me a lot about the spirit of making music, and I've taken this around everywhere, so all of the notes that I've played, not many songs, whatever I've written or played with other people, it's all kind of housed in here, and you can hear the difference between this piano and any other piano that you play. And I think the melody was something like da 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 da. Loving is a blessing, yeah. Never let it fade away, and it's all about love, yeah. La da 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 da, da 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 da, it's done. Never let it fade away, and it's all about love, yeah. First song I ever learned.
You guys can, the church is singing right now. Who's playing music?
Oh, I know.
Where's the music coming from?
Oh, right here.
Yeah, can you turn it down while the church is playing?
I was trying to come up these numbers and I said, but I'm so proud, you know?
Musicians are supposed to know, man. Warren, we need to shut all the lights off in the house.
Going upstairs right now.
Okay, man, it's cool. I'm just, I'm in that mode, baby.
Come on, a little happiness now.
So you're a work of art. This is not like a regular runway show. You are being like, you're posing as like, a work of art. All of a sudden, there's the piece.
The reason why we're here tonight is very much for Planet Hope, which is a hope for the entire world to house homeless families. We've got Monica Bien with Goretti Couture here, which is very important, but our drive is to raise money for Planet Hope.
Honey, get right up front. You're right next to it. You're the second girl. Get up there. You turn around. That's not like it's the end. That's like your turn around. You know, dun dun dun. Back up all the way.
I like it. It's so much better than just walking to the end of the runway and
Yeah.
frowning and turning around and walking.
No.
Not everyone digs it though, man. Like,
No?
not everyone's
That's a good sign.
Everyone's feeling it.
That's a good sign.
Beautiful. Thank you, Garland.
Something. And the cool thing is about Monica is that she taught me a lot early on because when I first met her, I was still living at home. And Monica had been on her own since she was like 17 or 18. You know, so I was basically mama's boy, like fresh, you know, new kind of thing or whatever. And yeah, she taught me, you know, that's what I can say. She taught me a lot in the early days, you know. So, but I knew I was in for something. It was this is the longest relationship I've obviously ever been in, but yeah. So.
Baby, why do we struggle with the weight of the world on love's tender shoulders? It's a simple equation. Why do you have to complicate it? Baby, love's not competing with your dreams or your freedom. Love is patiently waiting. dreams are your freedom. Love is patiently waiting. Love needs desire, baby. Love, a moment just waiting. Love, feel the fire. How many times do we get lost along the way? 'Cause it's hard. When we decide we're gonna make it, it never ends. No, no, love. Love is patiently waiting. Love needs desire. Love, a moment just waiting. Love, feed the fire. Love, love, yeah, love, baby. Oh, love, yeah, we need
Love songs on the coast.
Where does music come from? Hmm. Great question. Where does music come from? A fear of silence. Yeah. Wow, where did that come from? Yeah, it's well, maybe I've even heard that before. It comes from silence, you know. It comes from a place that direct contrast to that thing that's quiet, and it has to happen because you have to have both things. But I think the silence came first, but and I don't know where actual notes come from, and I don't know. I think another thing I think about is like if you're in a pool, and you got your head above water, you're in sort of shallow water up to 5 feet or however tall you are, and you just dip your eyes and your nose just under the surface, like you really see like the top of a pool is like a thin layer, and you just go under the surface. That's where music is, right there as well. It's not up here. It's not standing on earth. It's not standing anywhere here. It's just beneath the surface. Yeah. That's another place where you can find it. Been reading these articles about jazz being on its way out in the market and everything like that. I think for so many years, jazz has been an art that went over a lot of people's heads because of the player and not the audience. Players have a tendency to take an art like jazz or like classical music and sort of be a little I don't know the word now, but just a little elitist or purist about the whole thing, and it's really not that serious. And I think the emotional content in jazz is high, if not higher than some vocal aspects, because even though the spoken word is very powerful, I think an instrument like a horn, I'll say a horn, even though it emulates a voice, I think that distraction is not there of a person speaking a language that you understand, like English or French or whatever they're singing in. I mean, you're being made to make up in your own mind your interpretation of this sound that's coming out from this horn player, this piano player, whatever it is. And I think, I always think of jazz, especially jazz trumpet, like, I grew up in the church, so, Gabriel sort of coming off the mountain and playing these notes, or and just like slaying or saving a race of people, or I liken jazz to something like that, something very powerful. David in the Bible being a harpist and that kind of thing. It's like, it's so mysterious. Instrumental music to me is so mysterious, and it's up to the listener to sort of interpret in his or her own way what they're gonna take from that experience. And that's why I think that's why the classical music is so important, and I think that's why jazz music is so important. Jazz is real young right now. Pop music is and blues and all that stuff, that music is just so direct to me. Even though I love lyrics, but I think that music is real direct. I am singing to you about this, and now I'm doing that. In 3 minutes, I'll give you my life, And jazz develops over a length of time. have I experienced any like racial stuff in music or in my life? In my life, you know, not really. I mean, just little things. I think, you know, as far as like little racial slurs, like, you know, if I'm out somewhere with Monica, nobody would say anything outright, but sometimes you could see it in their faces. You could see it in a way they would look, or especially from black women, you know, taking a double take, turning around and you know, giving me sort of a snare or something like that. But for the most part, no, I've been extremely lucky. I think, you know, the energy that I put out is not like I'm trying to hide anything or that I'm anything other than I am, as far as that's concerned anyway. So I've been lucky not to have a lot of that.
Someone come home to me, love. I'm waiting for you. When you come home to me, love, I'll dry your eyes. Let your worries fall behind you. 'Cause they don't mean a thing to me, love. I'm at your side. When all the world caves in, but I'll be around. Lay your troubles on the ground, love. Situations changing, they always do. Let's fall at your side, calling you. Situations changing, they're like the tide. When you're lost in the final moment, I'll be at your side. Someone come home to me, love. I'm waiting for you. When you come home to me, love, I will dry your eyes. Let your troubles fall behind you.
Yeah, we would. Now, Darren will never call it split up. He won't use those words. We didn't split up. We took some space away from each other because he always thinks of us as together, and I guess we really always are. Love is bigger than your thoughts. So we split up about 3 years ago, or we had just got a little space, took some time, and I went back to New York, and he went on the road with Alanis Morissette. And we did maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I moved out for a couple months, but it never lasts long. He always comes back looking for me. No, truly, he does. I would love to be with him. It's just that, you know, he's usually the one that wants the space, and then he's usually the one that comes back. It's just, I think for him, it's more difficult sussing out his identity separate from Monica. And perhaps for me, from my life experience with 9 children, I always found a way to somehow source out my identity separate from all these other people. And even though I was immersed with them like an amoeba practically every day. And for Darren, and also it's a man thing, you know, who are you as a man and what are your achievements on your own, not with this woman. I think he struggles with that, not the love with me so much. And then staying in love, you need to have separate identities. Like he says, most couples, they go to work and they come back at the end of the day and say, so, what did you do? And there's something great about that, something healthy. So I think that we've discovered that getting our own artistry moving along separately is going to create the space that we need rather than a physical space of moving apart from one another to make the relationship flow better for us. 10 years now it's been.
How about another chorus?
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel of
To be my lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish.
peace now. No more talking, just be
I must
still. What's all the
take you there
motion just pass you
to be my
by
lawfully wedded husband,
like you're a visitor
to have and to hold
museum.
from this day forward,
In color,
for better or for worse,
inside,
for richer or for poorer,
where the lions
in sickness
can
and
feed
in health,
you now.
to love and
When
cherish.
you're tired and broken down,
The ring is a symbol of your
affection,
Cause you
peace,
don't
and
need
unity.
a lecture right now. You don't need a lecture right now. Just lean all at your feet. With every breath you take, you'll find control. And go down into the darkness of your mind. Give it some time. Outside, the illusion of atomic words and their implosions have fallen to the ground. It can't hurt you anymore. 'Cause you don't need a lecture right now. No, you don't need a lecture right now. Just lay it all at your feet. With every breath you take, you'll find your control.
I just wish them the best. I mean, they've had it coming for a long time, and they just deserve each other. They're great people, and I just enjoy being with them so much, and I hope they enjoy being with each other forever.
How to have a happy marriage. Find yourself. Find yourself. There's nobody else that can save you. Although it sure feels like that. It's yourself. And yourself is boundless.
Yes, they need love. They need to have understanding. They need to just be friends. They need to not go to bed angry. Talk this stuff out, and they'll be fine. I know they'll be fine. They've already been together so long.
Good luck, a lot of happiness, and I know you guys will be together forever because you have already.
Monica and Darren, you know, hey, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And Darren, you know that. So, you know, compromise. Give some people some time to, you know, to get it together. It'll be all right.
Monica, Darren, that is still probably the longest kiss I've ever seen at a wedding in my whole life.
So I think the world of the two people who became one, and there's been many a tread marks, hiking up mountains to the victory, to the peak.
What you think?
Yes, you do.
And they've been through a lot together, so it's a good thing.
Should have married her sooner. But we're glad you did. Now you may consummate the marriage you've been waiting for 13 years.
Be really focused on the person that you love and always make them first.
No more talking, just be still. What's all emotion? Just pass you by.
I asked Darren when we were going through some troubles, probably 5 years ago, so what is it you want? You know, what do you want in life? What do you want from I guess a relationship? And he said, I just want someone to call my own. And that struck a chord in me, no pun intended. It struck a couple. And it's good when you can make yourself laugh. Then it also was coupled with observing some friends that I saw and being able to have everything you want in life, and yet still not having somebody that you call your own. Even people who have somebody because perhaps they have money, but they don't really ever have the heart of that person. And no matter what they can buy, what they really want is someone that they truly can call their own. It's there for them, just in the purest sense. When you part with that person, what does it feel like? In some ways, devastating. It feels like Darren and I talked about this just recently at breakfast. It sort of almost like you're walking around with a ghost. It must be like the feeling when somebody has their partner pass away on them. You know, you have all these experiences and you relate with so many things with that person, and then you're in a new or perhaps an old place that you were in, and you feel like that person is with you or should be with you. And so it feels like you're walking around with a ghost that's not there, that you wish was there, and it's sad and it's empty, and sometimes it's liberating. Liberating. We ended up getting back together. We're still trying to figure that out, actually. A therapist asked us that. Well, how come you guys are back together then if you didn't know you wanted to be back together? Well, we do want to be back together, but we just started to talk and hang out, and then we started to hang out because we just love to be with each other. So, and then here we are, just by accident.
Oh, I've seen love go by my door. It's never been this close before. Never been so easy or so slow. I've been shooting in the dark too long. Something's not right, baby, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I've only known careless stuff. It always hit me from below. This time round, it's more correct. Right on target, just so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover, Queen Anne's lace, those locks across your face. You can make me cry if you don't know. Oh, I can't remember what I was thinking of. You might be spoiling me with too much love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Flowers on the hillside, blooming crazy. Crickets talking back and forth in rhyme. Blue river running slow and lazy. Oh, I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Situations ended sad. Relationships have all been. Mine have been like rain and rainbow. But there's no way I can compare all those scenes to this affair. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. gonna make me wonder what I'm doing. Staying far behind without you. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm saying. Oh, you're gonna make me give myself a good talking to.
A therapist had described this to me once. I thought it was so interesting that a relationship, people think that you're just going to cut the cord, and it's like slicing a pizza, and then you pull the piece apart, and there's some strands of the cheese that are just take a while till they snap off.
Separated right now. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, yeah, that's the toughest thing at the moment.
Well, Darren and I were meant to sign our divorce papers today. It's 3 years later, actually almost to the date. And he was going to meet me today before this little concert tonight. And we were going to meet each other and sign the papers. And then he got a session, and I had things going on to get ready for this. But it's a lot sweeter 3 years later. It's a lot sweeter because it gets to a point where you, hopefully, if you don't want to be a bitter person, which I never wanted to be, but even when things are hard that come at you in life, you take things as a blessing, and when you take these pains as a blessing, then the more you really reap the rewards of what happened to you without bitterness.
I have a TV set in every room, pictures of Madagascar. I have collections of Picasso and more. You could walk through my temple. I got blues all around me. Can you feel them? But I wish I had someone to call my own. Someone to call my own. I have the latest in fashion. See my coat come down to my knees, but I pray for some resistance. I got a Billy Goat. Did you ever see one? I'll show you one right here, right now. Yeah. If you would believe, I will hold you so tight. want somebody. I just want somebody. I just want somebody. Hey, hey. Someone, someone, someone,
That's how I feel. I feel like I never knew that, and I never knew, but I didn't know that if you could have told me if 3 years ago that I could feel so peaceful, man, and that I could feel like, oh, this was for a reason, you know, and all this growth and the grace I feel in my own feet, you know, from this experience is, I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't.
So love, let me take you down. Strange love into the meadow where our dreams are waking. I love to look in your eyes. I see a million chances that could be taken. I see all the chances that we could be taking, more than two and undertow in the sea. So love, let me take you down to the water's edge where the wind is wild and we forget names. I know who you are, and if I passed you 1,000 times, I still know who you are. I see all our colors flashing like Mercury crashing on a window pane. So don't let me lose him. So I run too fast.
You're back. That was our credit sequence.